Real news. Honest and fun political talk weekly on the Line 90.7 FM. We have a very limited guest selection here today, unfortunately. We have your usual host, me, Sean, and we have Dictator Phil.
The one and only, yeah.
No more needs to be said, other than that he's already consumed. You've already consumed one Red Bull. Is that your second?
This is my first.
Okay, only your first.
I'll probably have another one.
Yeah. Oh, we got some lights going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very visual. Okay.
And we have nobody else in the studio, unfortunately. I told Mikey, I've reminded him, but he has not shown up, nor has he responded yet. So hopefully he's not dead.
He's probably fine. I consume probably about a bottle of wine at this point.
Oh, okay.
All right, there we go. Now it's a party.
yeah. Now we're gonna get into the real show.
Well, no. See, I have a funny story with that. So I was going down, and my girlfriend wanted to get this bottle of wine open. We didn't have a corkscrew, so we tried to go and do the redneck version and use a screw and a screwdriver. Try to open it up. That wasn't working too well. So we end up going down to the bar, which is thankfully like a walk away. By we, I mean me. And I asked if I could borrow their corkscrew, and they actually let me. So
yeah,
I'll give that to them. So I go back, try to go and use the corkscrew to open it up. We snap it off. So I had to go back to the bar and bring them like a broken corkscrew. And they're pretty chill about it. They're like, yeah, go ahead. Don't worry about it. Just blame it on someone else. So, okay. So I did that. And by the time I got home, my girlfriend managed to get some pliers and rip the cork out. So, pretty good day.
Interesting. I have been doing none of that, except I've just been consuming my milk, as Dictator Phil here witnessed.
Yeah.
I'm not a drinker of anything other than wine other than water and milk. That was a Freudian slip right there.
Yeah.
Because anybody that's a usual listener of the program knows that I do not consume any alcohol, and that's actually non-ironic. Like, I do not. I hate the stuff, but I don't even drink soda. But I've just had some water today. I've had some milk. I've been working on homework. I don't know, I haven't been talking to people. I just saw Phil. It was like the only human I've interacted with today. But it's been a really busy day.
At least you had one interaction.
Yeah, that's true. One's greater than none.
Well, see, what was pretty cool was when I went back to the bar, someone bought me a drink. So I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. And I got like some, what was that Fireball? Oh, yeah, I was pretty happy.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, is anything else happening in your guys' lives? I always like to start off like casual now for some reason, see how everybody's doing, checking in. Anything interesting to report?
I think that's a good thing.
Well, I think there's a curse on my family.
Whoa. What are we going into here?
So, see, like, what was it? 2 weeks ago, I got, physically struck by a car. Then 2 weeks before then, I got hit by I got rear-ended by someone. And then now today I found out my grandparents got hit, like their car was struck while they were at church. So like not even God could protect us, I guess.
Satan.
Jeez, you're
something
like
fishy going on.
You're a blues song. You're a living blues song. Right?
Yeah.
You go, wah, 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 wah. Well, I was struck by a car today. Wah, 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 wah.
I was struck by a car tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, it could be worse. I'm not dead.
Yeah, at least you didn't get hit by a tow truck.
What? Oh, yeah. See, if I got hit by a tow truck and I was in my car, it probably wouldn't have hurt as much.
From personal experience, I can say it doesn't hurt as much. But I think this all started with me. Let's be real. I started this curse. The atheist started the curse.
Dude, I've had how long have I been driving? So I started driving when I was like 17 on the dot. I think maybe like a week after that. And I've been in, like, someone backed into my car. It was an old man. Then I had someone hit my car while I was at work. And then I had like a legitimate someone smash into the back of my car. And then I had someone rear-end me recently. And then I had someone physically strike me while out of my car. So that's like, 4 or 5 injury, like car accidents. None of them have been my fault, though.
Yeah, well, I can't say the same for me, but I'm 2 for 2 on me. But yeah, it's frustrating that even when other people, it's their fault, it's still an annoying thing to deal with. But
oh yeah, well, because here's the thing. Like, I went in this repair shop over by me. They like, I called them up. I was like, hey, can you go and fix this? And then like they never called back, so I go and call them up again, and they were finally there. And I went to the shop, and they weren't physically in the shop. They were in the garage. I had to go like smack on the door until they could hear it. And then it took them like, what was it, like a week and a half once I actually deposited my car there to actually fix it.
yeah.
So it was annoying, but at least they got it fixed. And they cleaned it out like in the interior, but they like, I don't know. I think they could have done a better job. They messed up the a little leather strap that goes on my my transmission, like the 6-speed, the little leather boot, I guess. I don't know what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
But that little area, and they kind of like messed it up. They broke the they had like a zip tie on there, I think, when they originally made it. They broke it, but it's not that big of a deal. I can get a new zip tie, I guess.
I'm filling out the paperwork to become campus coordinator of Turning Point at Penn State. That's happening.
Woo!
Yeah. Was that a cheer? Or was that like a whoa? I just took a
No,
slug
that was
there.
a cheer, man.
We are
Thank
moving
you.
up in the world.
Yeah. I told you we were
I'm telling
professional.
you what, man, you got to get that job. Getting a job and like being a student, that shows you how to become an adult. That puts hair on your chest.
I don't have any hair on my chest actually. Like if you look at me, I'm not. It's like the Italian, and that's like the Italian genes went into my hair on my head, but not on my chest. Or as Yuang would say,
That's
Roman.
like the Jewish genes.
I'm not Jewish.
You probably, no, I don't know, maybe.
I'm not.
You might.
I'm
That's too curly for your average Joe, I guess.
Well, as our humble Chinese friend would call me, he says, "You are Roman." He said, based on my looks, I'm Roman, not
Well,
Italian, Roman.
Well, to him, probably like every white guy's Roman.
Even Phil. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're Italian. Italian's kind of Roman.
Oh yeah. I'm part Italian, but I'm mostly just like half Russian, Czech. But whatever.
Well, that's where your hacker genes come from. I told you you should have taken SRA.
What's SRA?
Security. That's what I took, man. You don't remember what I took?
major. Oh no. I gotta manipulate the ads. You know, that's what the Russians in the election, right? Manipulate the ads. Anyway, we'll dive into topics. Unless Dictator Phil has something to say.
Yeah. So
See, he's prepped there.
So we got later on.
Oh,
we
yes.
we have Zoe coming into the studio.
It's a special guest.
Yes, a very special guest, right?
Yes.
But she's a little
Who's
late.
Zoe?
Yeah, she is somebody who wanted to, she wanted to come on the studio. So we were like, whatever. We can get some different perspectives,
Yeah.
fair, reasonably fair.
Who's Zoe Quinn?
She tells me that she's like super woke, right?
Yeah.
So
That sounds like Zoe Quinn.
right. So her Twitter hashtag is Zoe the Woke Girl. That is one word, right?
You got a hashtag open there?
Literally, I'm not making it up.
Man,
Right?
hashtag. Hashtag, what was it, Zoe the Woke Girl?
It's at Zoe the Woke Girl.
Oh, that's her handle.
Right,
That's her
right.
handle. Okay, but if you want to tweet us a question, use that handle or use the hashtag RealNewsPSU. Hashtag RealNewsPSU.
Right. Or you
We'll
can
ask her.
you can ask me at fake outrage cop. That's one word. Fake outrage cop.
See, we gave
is
you
one
all
word.
3 different ways, which is like bad advertising here and terribly
Terrible, but,
confusing. But you can use any one of those ways to interact with us.
Or
Ask
you
us
can just
questions.
troll. Or you can just troll.
You can
I mean,
troll. We
that's fine.
appreciate it. Yeah, we are trolls. Or at least I am.
So yeah. So I
Quite a few of
asked
those
her.
in the past.
So I asked her because Twitter, I guess, is the only way I can communicate with.
Yeah, she's not here yet. She's delayed.
So I asked her if she was coming, and she replied, "I'll be a little late to the studio. I'm enjoying a delicious quinoa salad. Don't hate."
Yeah.
So hey, I hope she's enjoying her salad. I don't know.
Yeah, well, girl,
Quinoa goes through me like a knife on butter.
Hey, that's a lot to be sharing this early in the show, there, buddy. No.
We should transition to the news. In the news, I guess we'll talk about first that Roger Stone, my boy Roger, has been arrested and indicted by Mueller. The FBI raided his house 2 nights ago, I think, and Thursday night into Friday, they raided his house, and this was very weird because CNN was there while the raid was happening. They were either, as Greta Van Susteren pointed out on Twitter, they were either tipped off or somebody leaked it that this was going to happen. But Mueller tipping off journalists is very like that's not what you do in a legal context. And it's not like Roger Stone had guns or anything in his house or he'd be a threat that you would have to do a raid. Roger Stone does not own a single firearm. He said that last night on Tucker, and I believe him. He lives in Florida, and the whole thing is weird.
Florida, that's why they raided it, probably.
Does he live in Broward County too? You know.
No, do you ever see how much stuff just goes on in Florida? Like, let's be real.
Yeah, Florida is a very bizarre state, as we've talked about at length on this program. Between Parkland shooting in Broward County, the voter fraud in Broward County, the 9/11 hijackers live down there. There's like gators that just like eat people. There was the Orlando shooting. There was, you know, some other things.
The bath salts.
The bath salts, yeah. Like, well, this state.
The guy who was pooping on cars by like hanging on top of a stoplight.
It's like, what is this place? Like, why does Florida attract all like the retired? I get why it attracts retirees, but why does it attract like these weirdos?
Well, no, I'll tell you why. That's because they have a bunch of rehab facilities in Florida. That's probably where you get most of these guys from, because there's a nice tropical climate.
You have rehabs, right? He nailed the one. And then you got the Disney and Universal Studios, right? So you got all the weirdos coming down there for that, and then the rehab, and they might be making a pit stop. They might be going to Epcot Center and then making a detour right to a rehab. I don't know. Well, anyway, it's a lot of weird stuff. But
why do you guys think CNN was at the raid?
Because someone in the administration probably tipped them off so they could go and get like CNN points or whatever they get. Or CNN coin, I don't know, cryptocurrency.
This isn't the first time either. This isn't the first time that there was a complaint of the FBI leaking stuff to the media. This has been happening for a little bit now. So,
well, let's be nice. They need to make money because they've been like unable to work for like the past 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah. They were trying to get like a little extra like dollars on the side here. Well, you know what's funny also is that what was I thinking? Oh yeah, related to the media. I posted this meme on Facebook that was really funny. I think you all saw that like HuffPo and BuzzFeed like fired a bunch of people or laid off a bunch of people. There was a meme that showed like that picture that HuffPo took where it was all women like at the board and they said something like really progressive. They took that picture and then they said 10-year challenge, and then the next picture was just an empty like conference room.
They only got half the story. It was like all white women and like one Asian girl.
Oh yeah, it's right. There's like diversity, chink, and it's just all these like white women and one Asian. Yeah. Oh god.
Well, see, the thing is, like, the NRA board of directors is probably more diverse than, like, the BuzzFeed board of directors. Let's be real.
We should fact check that 'cause it's probably true.
Let's get Snopes on that right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't like with the BuzzFeed, like the BuzzFeed Huffington Post. Like, there's a lot of, like, it's a lot of opinion. It's supposed to be like a news site, right? Supposed to be. And it's there's a lot of opinions, and it's like already the news is kind of like a shaky industry. Like, it's not like, it is. So like, when you have that much, first off, when you have like a heavily liberal or conservative story base, you already take out half of the population. Like, you've already taken out half the market right away. Like, and I mean, you have to treat, and I mean, yeah, you want to make sure that you get your story and you want to get your message up front, but it's a business too. Like, if you don't make the money, shut down. You got to balance the book somehow,
Well, see, how many like BuzzFeed lights are out there? They have so many of them, like leftist,
Mike.
Fake organization things out there.
Yeah, like Mike, like Vox, like all those things. And I think also, and Tim Pool is doing a thread on this on Twitter. You know, I'll check it out. Where he was talking about, because he's worked in journalism. He worked for Gizmodo. He worked for Vice for a while, which is not as good as Versa. Just saying, they're the opposite. Well, they were good when Gavin was there. And then once got rid of Gavin, Vice became trash. But when Vice. When Tim Pool worked for Vice and he worked for all these things, he then left and now does independent journalism. But he went on a thread saying, like, a lot of these so-called journalists that work at these places literally do nothing. They just sit around all day talking to people. They'll look up a topic or two. They'll write 5 articles a day in like a minute. And then they will drink and do all kinds of stuff and like screw around. And he said a lot of the so-called journalists, quote unquote, are just opinion people that have alcohol and cocaine problems. And I've heard that before. Like, this is the thing I keep hearing, that like a lot of journalists are alcoholics, and he was saying it too. And when I'm saying journalists, by the way, I'm not saying the people that do investigative reporting. They're actually doing journalism. These are people that just sit in office and write opinion pieces. I shouldn't be calling them journalists because they're not. But that's what the BuzzFeed is framing themselves as, is a journalist organization, when they're not doing journalism. They're just doing opinion. You know, the actual...
See, all BuzzFeed is clickbait.
Yes.
Like, they're not real journalism more than, like, I don't know, the Wii is a real game system, you know?
What?
It's just like fake news. It's like, oh, you know, if you're going to go do something really stupid, like, you know, top 10 ways that The Simpsons is racist or something.
Yeah.
You know, you won't believe number 2. It's like the same formula. And people, they have so many of them because they realize this is an easy market, just this outrage like mafia going on.
Right. Yeah, I don't blame them because they are smart. Like, it is a smart business model. I don't know how long it's sustainable, which is why they're diversifying by doing actual quote-unquote news. But that's starting to become a failure, as we've seen that their 2 big stories, their scoops on Trump, have been total shams, have been fake news. Everything they've got on Trump has been fake news. Between the Golden Showergate, fake news. And the recent thing, what was that about? I'm already forgetting because there's so much fake news. It was something to do with... Oh, it was that Michael Cohen was gonna say that, like, it was something with Michael Cohen, and even Mueller came out saying, like, yeah, this isn't true. Like, what the freaking special counsel has to correct BuzzFeed? Like, that's pretty bad, you know?
I mean, there are universal things that you have to, like, not do in news. Like, and one of them is post gross inaccuracies like that. Like if you want to write opinion pieces, that's one thing,
right? But
like that, inaccurate stories, they are damaging to a news site. Like
oh yeah, because you ruin your reputation, and then all it takes is one news story. WikiLeaks has never gotten anything wrong, but they're the big bad guys, and yet they've had a perfect record. But anyway, yeah, I was just checking. I found, what BuzzFeed did say, they said, quote, President Trump directed his attorney Michael Cohen to lie to Congress about the Moscow Tower project. Now, first of all, Trump wouldn't do something that stupid, which is why I was skeptical of this. And then it turned out to be fake news. So can't trust these people. And like, it's sad because, look, I took a journalism class here. I've said this multiple times on the show. I'm going to keep saying it. The people in that class were lazy, dumb, and did not know how to do basic journalism. And this was a class that taught you that, and it was simple stuff. They taught you a lead, AP style. You start with a lead, and then you fill in the who, what, when, where, why. You do all the basic, most important info, and then you fill in some details, yada, yada, and it's all AP style. It's very basic stuff. This isn't hard. I'm an advertising major, and I could do it. And you see all these people here, and I'm just thinking to myself, this is what CNN's going to be picking from in the job market. They're going to be picking from this. And we're at Penn State. We're not some, like, you know, poor people's college, you know, or anything where it's like you're getting, you know, people that aren't as, you know, likely to succeed or have the best access to education. You're getting people at Penn State, which is supposed to have the best education in the country. You know?
And like when you have, and in today's like social media environment, Like when you create a story like that that's wildly inaccurate, it almost gets picked up immediately. Like CNN, like, oh, but according to a BuzzFeed article,
they jumped on it.
and then MSNBC, all these, and then when BuzzFeed gets, you know, proven, oh, this is completely inaccurate, now everybody connected to it looks bad too. Even if they try to, like, even if CNN tries to go, oh, well, we didn't know the BuzzFeed was messed up, well, you did report it. Like, you did kind of, you know.
And what's great also is that with social media, you can now have the people be a check and a balance on the press, which you didn't have before. But now you have a check and a balance that's grassroots, you know, a grassroots fact checking of the media, and it's great. But of course Twitter might suppress that.
Yeah, but I mean, with the news, you have to get it out
instantly,
quick.
Yeah,
like these people are getting stories out so quick that they're missing lots of information nowadays. Like, so I don't know.
You can't blame someone to an extent, because I understand where they're coming from, which is if one news outlet starts going on, you got to get on quick, or else you're not going to get the traffic. And I get that. But you still have to be careful. You have to think before you act. Any last words, Alex, before we take a break? And welcome. I think Zoe's here. I heard a knock at the door. Yeah, we'll have to let her in.
All right. Well,
you can go. Yeah.
I don't know, like BuzzFeed, I don't think most of those people are journalists. They're probably like gender studies majors who go and take this, and they just think this is what, you know, journalism should be. They don't care about the news. People haven't really cared that much about the news. If you really did, you could go and look online, find it in, like, you know, a paragraph. It's like news is objective, and people don't want that. They want the opinions. That's why people, you know, they watched O'Reilly when he was still around. They watched Tucker Carlson. They don't care about the news. They want entertainment, and they want like something interesting. Yeah, because you can get the news from any average Joe with a smartphone these days, and that's what I think is really hitting the industry. And they need to be interesting. They need to set themselves apart in this media environment. There's so much different like organizations out there that do the exact same thing. They can't really set themselves apart from the competition. And that's why BuzzFeed was bound to fail. And you're going to start seeing a lot of that, like, you know, dog eat dog world out there, because there's only so many people who want to go and see liberal news. Which will they choose? BuzzFeed, Vox, Vice. You know, there's so many choices, but it's all pretty much the same stuff anyways. You only got like Fox and Breitbart. Maybe a couple other small ones, but you know, there's a lot more business behind the conservative news media or opinions media. So if that's what you're going to do, you know, you probably ought to go into there, because you'll probably have a job 10 years from now.
Well, I think liberal news sources that do opinion will still, you know, I don't think BuzzFeed's doomed to fail at all, because their business model works. You know, they're getting clicks, they're getting revenue. I just don't know if people are going to eventually get tired of it. They might, but BuzzFeed could change their strategy, which is what they're trying to do now, which is become more like a Vox.
You can probably make a bot that can go make a BuzzFeed article. Like, let's be real. Just do like the most clickbaity, like leftist stuff. You could probably program a robot to do it, and that's probably what they're doing right now to go and cut costs.
Right. Did you say Cutco?
No, cut costs.
Yeah, well, I have to upload that video still, because we had some harsh words for Cutco. Do you know about Cutco?
I do not.
They're a scam. Anyway.
Yeah, they're pretty much the
the Snap-on of kitchenware.
Snap-on of the knife industry, but like Snap-on at least gives quality products.
Is that like one of those products where they use paid programs to advertise?
Ooh. No, they like pay COD students to go and like sell knives door to door or whatever.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we know some people that have done that. We have a new guest on the program. I'm very happy to have her on. I haven't talked to her yet. Actually, it's my first time interacting, because Dictator Phil has been the one that's been managing this whole thing. So without further ado, I present to you guys with Zoe.
That's my name. Don't celebrate it.
So, would you like to introduce yourself, Zoe? Because, I mean, your name's great and all, but...
Like, seriously, do I have to? I don't...
Well, I don't want to...
I'm Zoe. My name does not need introduction. Okay.
Well,
I'm sorry.
But hear me out. I don't want to assume anything. I mean, I understand we live in 2019. It's a very complicated, sensitive time. I don't want to make any assumptions because we've done that in the show before and it's ended kind of badly.
So what are you asking? Like, seriously.
Just give me like, who you are, what do you like to do, favorite color maybe.
Favorite color? What are you assuming? Are you what kind of sexist question is that? Well, favorite color? Like I'm supposed so if I'm a certain gender, I'm supposed to like have like a favorite color or something? Is that where you're throwing?
Well, no. I mean, guys and girls are, can like different colors. What? Oh, sorry. I mean, people, humankind. Oh, shoot. No, I can't say human.
Seriously, it's people kind. It's people kind. You should listen to Justin Trudeau, okay? It's people kind. Get it right.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay. People kind. Okay. So people kind have, favorite colors. Like I like red. What's your favorite color, Alex?
Black.
I like it.
Is it black like your soul?
No, it's like my coffee. I like my coffee black. No, really, it's probably red.
Yeah.
Red's a good color.
It is. It's very masculine.
If a chicken sees red, it'll just go and like beat the crap out of whatever's red. They have like this evil, like a rooster. There's like instinct to go and kill anything with red. I don't know why, but like if you have a rooster that's bleeding, you have to, or like a chicken that's bleeding, you have to go and like cover them up. That's what I was told by a farmer. That's not how true it is. It could be pulling my leg, but I was told they see blood. They're like a bull,
Yeah, that's really violent for a radio show. I just want to let you know that.
Yeah,
but seriously, you want to know my favorite color? It's pink.
Pink. Okay. I mean, that's a nice color. It's pretty cute and fabulous.
It's a wonderful color.
Yeah, I like it. I'm into feminine colors, but like just so you know, I'm not.
What's that mean?
I don't have toxic masculinity. Like I'm a balance. Like
You smell like you have toxic masculinity. Like seriously.
Gillette.
It's like
we don't condone or condemn Gillette on this program.
Oh jeez.
Oh, there's pink. Look at he's got a pink hat right there. Pink hat. Woo! Right there, spotted. Boom. Going up the steps now. Going up the steps. See him?
Well, Gillette's a ripoff. Like I go and use the CS brand, and it's done just the same job. It's got like 5 blades in there, more than you need.
Gillette is the Cutco of shavers.
Dude, like all of them are pretty much a Cutco. Do you know how much it costs them to go and make that little piece of sharp steel?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's like literally like pennies on a dollar. And do you know how much it costs to replace like your razor blade? Like it's like if you buy the regular brand, it's like $30 for like 10 pairs. It costs them probably like less. It's like water bottles. It's just such a wash for them.
Oh yeah.
They're just making money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Gillette did a wonderful thing today, or not even today. No, they did a wonderful commercial. I wish every commercial was like that.
I think they need to be more progressive, actually. I think they need to go on a commercial where they show someone getting a sex change with the Gillette razor.
Yeah, you would say that, wouldn't you?
Bigot.
I think that's what they need to go and do. They want to get that progressive audience, and you need to go and push the envelope a little bit. Like, sex changes are a human right.
Oh man,
I was thinking more along the lines of like an Audi commercial, but yeah, we could like we could send them an email. Why not?
Oh god, Alex, you're the funniest person.
Well, see, what would be more woke if they had a sex change with a Gillette razor, or if it's female circumcision with a Gillette razor? What would be more leftist approved?
I think the transgender thing, because while females, genital mutilation is more of a Muslim thing. Like they don't want to get, they don't want to
be, but they're very progressive.
Yes, but that's cultural appropriation, Alex. That's a big no-no.
That is a big no-no.
Yeah, Zoe agrees.
Yes.
So we would have to, like, if we were going to make the perfect progressive ad, it would have to be the former, not the latter.
You know what? You need to be more like Alyssa Milano.
Oh, really? What? She said something very progressive.
Yes. So what she said was the red MAGA hat, right? that these racists are wearing
Uh-huh.
is the new white hood. That's the new that's the story. And
We're actually going to talk about that. It's a good segue you made there,
Yeah.
Zoe. You're very a radio natural right here.
well, thank you. I appreciate it.
So what happened, if anybody didn't know, on over last weekend, like right after our show, was at the March for Life. There were a bunch of kids from a Catholic school wearing MAGA hats that were a part of the March for Life thing. It's a pro-life sort of protest. And initially the story was total fake news. Again, more fake news we're getting into. Where every media outlet spread fake news saying that they chanted build the wall. NBC said, quote, they taunted Native Americans. Washington Post said that the one Native American, Nathan Phillips, said that the kids, quote, swarmed around him. To set the record straight, they never chanted that. They never swarmed the guy. The Native American with those beating the drum, Nathan Phillips, actually went, interjected himself into the crowd. He went in there himself. It wasn't the Catholic kids like bullying him like they were trying to frame it as. And one activist from the Black Israelites, oh no, sorry, this was one of the Native Americans, said, quote, you white people go back to Europe. This is not your land, unquote. Now, I know you would find that pretty woke because there were Native Americans here before the Europeans, even though they didn't occupy 99% of the land.
Well, yeah. I mean, this isn't it's their land, and we basically took it like the monsters that we are.
So why don't you leave?
Because I'm already here.
Oh, good reason. But anyway, there were also Black Israelite activists there. And if you don't know who these people are, they are a bit cray-cray, as they say these days. That's something Zoe would say, cray-cray. They were saying, quote, your president is a homosexual, unquote, which is a homophobic thing to say, I would say. And they also called the group of Catholic school kids future school shooters, and they were using the N-word. And so, now these students, after all of this, are getting doxxed. They've been, they've had death threats against them for doing absolutely nothing wrong. They didn't say a word. There was just one kid that stood there and smirked while the rest of them stood around him, and they held their ground. And then Nathan Phillips is a fake veteran. He's lied saying that he was a Vietnam times veteran when he actually only served 4 years as a private and was just an electrician and a refrigerator mechanic. So this has just gone completely out of hand. These kids have been smeared with fake news, and now they're getting doxxed, and their lives are at risk. But, CNN told me fake news has real consequences, except when they produce it. And, the first thing that didn't make sense to me was, do you really think Trump supporters would be harassing a veteran? Like, they're the biggest supporters of that. They wouldn't be harassing one. It makes no sense. You want to know who did harass veterans? Specifically after Vietnam? Was liberals. They were throwing piss and poop on them when they came home and called them murderers. You want to lecture me on who doesn't like Vietnam War veterans? Well, let's go back to the 1970s, folks, and we can see. That's my rant. Anybody else want to give one?
Well, hold on. Well, you see, they should have that Nathan guy. He should get more credit because apparently I saw like a news article. Escape from prison. Like, that's pretty skilled to do that. Like, how brave it to be to escape from prison. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, to go, like, try to go and do that, what would be more brave? Like, a veteran of the military or someone who actually, like, escaped from prison with, like, dogs going after you unarmed? That's pretty up there.
Do you agree with that, Zoe?
No, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he lied. It doesn't matter if the kids didn't do what they said that he did. They did. It just matters that they wore the red hats and a woke person said they're guilty. That's it. That's all we need.
But they had a black kid there that was wearing a MAGA hat.
Whatever.
Is he a racist too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. He was actually a white kid in blackface. He didn't look close to
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh, did you see that too?
That's right.
That they were they got photos from their school. And they said that they were wearing blackface at like a football game or something. When, first of all, this is a Catholic school in the current times. Do you think? And at first, just before you even know the truth about the story, do you think a Catholic school in the 21st century would allow everybody to be wearing blackface at a game. No. But guess what it was? It was exactly what they do here at Penn State. When you have a whiteout, people dress in white. They had a whiteout too. They had a green out. And this time they had a blackout, which has happened here too. When Black Lives Matter people protested the whiteout here, they dressed up in black. And that's what they did here. And they thought it was whiteface. These people are dumb. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired of this.
That's not what I saw.
Oh,
I
really?
I just saw a bunch of people in blackface, and they were screaming at an innocent athlete.
An innocent athlete?
Yes.
He was African American. So was he being oppressed, is what you're saying?
Yes. He was absolutely being oppressed.
What about the white athletes?
Well, hold on. That term African American, that really offends me.
Yeah.
No. Like, let's be real. This doesn't, you can be a Black American, not be African American. But Elon Musk is technically the most wealthiest African American in human history. And he's whiter than sour cream. Let's be real. Like, they need. I just hate that term. It's my pet peeve. Like, it doesn't describe someone who's black when it could equally describe Elon Musk or, like, I don't know, anyone from South Africa who came over here from Rhodesia or something. It just boggles my mind.
The face when you're a leftist and you realize the most successful African American is Elon Musk.
The most successful African American is white. Like, I just hate that term.
Hey, Dave,
it doesn't make any sense because they are equally like African American.
Dave Matthews is African too.
Like, yeah, you can be all sorts of African. Like, Saddam Hussein, you could say if he moved to America, he'd be African American because technically the Middle East is in Africa.
Part of it,
that encompasses so many people. And like Arabs, they would be considered African American, but they're not actually black.
True.
It doesn't matter. If a woke person said it, you're guilty. End of story.
Well, what do you think about that, Zoe, of Elon Musk being the richest African American and he's white?
Well, he's rich and he's white, so he's immediately evil. That's how
Is he privileged? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Did he use white privilege?
Absolutely. Well, he has billions of dollars, and
are you saying black people can't have billions of dollars?
Well, yeah, of course, but white.
Well, didn't you know Elon Musk was the prime instigator of apartheid? He was behind it all. That's why he's so wealthy. He was actually like enslaving, the black people in South Africa. And that's why he made all this money. It wasn't because he worked hard and was bullied by people. It's because his parents were, involved with the apartheid regime. That's why he fled to America.
Yes. Hot take.
I got a joke for you.
Okay, you want to lay it down?
Sure. Why did the chicken cross the road?
Why?
Because Trump's a racist.
Isn't that something that Stephen Colbert has joked about? No. Okay.
That's his own show. Like
that sounds like the NPC sort of joke. It's just a program saying Trump is racist. Trump is racist.
Well, whatever. If it doesn't matter, because if Amy Schumer can steal jokes and get away with it, so can I. End of story.
Did you see her Netflix special that came out last year?
Of course I did.
Really? What'd you think?
It was wonderful. It was one of the best. It was one of the best stand-ups I had ever seen.
Really?
Nothing is more funnier than a woman insulting Trump over and over again and talking about sex. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Very awesome.
Well, I think a lot of people disagreed with that, and because of that, it got a notorious 1-star rating, and Netflix then pulled the rating system.
You're not seeing the forest for the trees. This was actually a remake of Mr. Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head, and she did a phenomenal job because she just looks like him. She does such a good job looking like Mrs. Potato Head. But no one was thinking about it. They thought this was supposed to be some comedy. No, this was some feminist, intersectional, remake of Toy Story where she was Mrs. Potato Head.
You're a sexist for even saying that.
Well, speaking of people that throw out accusations of sexism and racism, there was this shooting in State College actually last night. I don't know if 2 nights ago, if I don't know if anybody, or 3 nights ago. Shoot, it's been a while. It was Thursday night, I think. Yeah, it was Thursday night because we didn't have the TP meeting that night. And
well, guess he wasn't involved. It wasn't it wasn't the gun march. It was someone else.
Oh yeah, yeah. It wasn't Aiden. It wasn't anybody we know.
You know, the collegiate needs to go get that information. They apparently think that the people in the gun march were like unhinged, and the police had to go and like monitor them.
That's a good point. I gotta mention that. But what happened, just so people know the facts, because it was crazy when it was happening, because we didn't know a lot of information for a while. But a Bellefonte man shot and killed 2 people in P.J. Harrington's bar at the Ramada Hotel. My parents actually stayed there during Parents Week last year, I believe, or yeah, it was last year. And the shooter killed himself after the incident. And the Collegian also said that he was a U.S. military serviceman, and he may still have been on active duty. We don't know. And he did have a lawful permit to carry a handgun, which is the handgun he used in the shooting. And after he shot those 2 people, he fled the scene of the car, crashed in a ditch, got out, shot a man in the house, and then killed himself. And the wife called the police, and it's been settled. But Penn State didn't release a text notification for 2 hours. You know, after it was all done, then they're like, oh, yeah, I best better warn people about this, which didn't make any sense to me because we have they had just sent out that day a text notification saying there's going to be snow, classes are canceled. There was no snow to be seen. What they should have said was there is going to be ice, which there was, and it's very slippery. But it wasn't even that icy that night. It was icier and slippery before. I slipped 5 times when getting dinner the previous night, but that night I didn't slip once. Anyway.
Doesn't matter. They should just take everybody's guns. They should just take everybody's guns.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the solution. Now, my girlfriend claims to have known one of the victims over there, and she says that the guy was like dumped the previous day by the waitress.
Oh, it's an incel! It's an incel! Oh, I knew it.
Well, it's not an incel. He was just some guy who got upset that he got dumped like a couple days ago.
So did the Supreme Gentleman.
That's what I heard from her. You know, use that what you will, but that's what I understand as the actual cause of that.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It was some sort of dispute or relationship issue because you don't just go into a bar and just shoot people like that. So but all the victims I think are they male? I don't know. Or did he? No,
I think the one girl was a female.
I'll say you would think he would shoot the waitress.
2 of them. I think 2 of them were girls, like the waitress, and there was someone else, and I think the someone else was someone my girlfriend knew.
Oh, wow.
That's what she said. But, you know, use that what you will.
Yeah, that's crazy. But it was...
Yeah, there wasn't an AR-15 in sight. So what's up with that? I thought AR-15s were the only thing babies. And, like, everybody. I thought it was like an evil assault rifle.
It doesn't matter. It was a semi-automatic pistol. They should just take them, too. Just take them all.
Was that an assault handgun?
It was a semi-automatic pistol.
Yeah. Do you know how those work, Zoe? Have you fired one before?
No, but I know a friend that does, so I pretty much know what I'm talking about.
I trigger her to go and use a trigger.
Well, I mean, I know people, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So yes.
Only against white people. Only against straight white men.
Yeah, it was a shooter, straight white male. I mean, the thing that was weird about it was like when it was happening, you know, the only news you could really get was through like the police scanner and a local outlet, but people didn't know much for a while, and it seemed like this all happened real quick. But you know, the cops didn't warn us. The Penn State, you know, text notification didn't warn us. And it didn't. It happened.
Why does Penn State need to go and warn you that something happened like several miles off campus?
Well, it was 8 miles off campus, and here's the thing: a lot of people that live off campus were actually kind of somewhere close to it. But you would think you'd
probably hear the gunshots going off at that point, and be like, "Oh, well, I hear gunshots. Maybe I should go and walk away."
Well, because at the time they made it sound like he was an active shooter on the loose. But I don't know if Penn State did or didn't know. To me, that's something you just send out. I mean, because remember that when the guy had freaking a rice cooker and they sent out text immediately.
Well, he was on campus. That's the difference. If they're not on campus, why is Penn State need to deal with it? It's not their problem.
True, but it could go onto campus.
Well, they're probably not. I mean, you hear the gunshots, you're like, oh, let's go investigate. Let's get the police department over here, and then. let's go and do that. And the police do their job pretty well generally in State College.
yeah.
I mean, they're not so great at getting people who rip up Trump memorabilia, but they're good at everything else.
I
But that's
remember
not
that.
the judge. The police were actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
There was a judge who was a leftist.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, all Trump memorabilia should be burned
Oh,
because
really?
it's racist. Yes.
So even the ones
If-
that say Latinos for Trump are racist?
Yes, because if Alyssa Milano said it, then it must be true. Just get rid of all of it.
Oh, boy.
I went
Yeah.
down the wrong pipe.
Yeah, it's been an interesting time here. But
Well, there goes the
I'm
bottle.
sorry. Could you sip that drink any louder? Seriously.
yeah, there's just like a gap that here. Oh man.
That's my white privilege to go make loud noises like farts and sips.
Yeah, only white people could do that apparently.
Yeah, you would know about white privilege now, wouldn't you?
I'm actually Polish. Apparently, Polish people are not considered white because in the 1700s, I saw an article that the Haitians said that they were, the equivalent of blacks of Europe.
So we was Polish and
Well, if you look at their history, it kind of makes sense because they've been conquered by literally everybody, and Slavic comes from the word slave, and Polish people, I guess you could say, are Slavic.
right.
Not sure actually. I mean, we make pierogies and we get killed by the Germans a lot. So
That's pretty much sums
Austrians
up Poland. And now they're based as F. They
well, see,
are
that's ironic. Like I have Austrian and Polish relatives, so it's just I can't keep them in the same place at once, or else I want to Anschluss the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's oh, you have something to say, Zoe? I don't want to interrupt, I know, because that'd be my man.
That would be yes.
Yeah.
Very toxic masculinity at its finest.
Yeah.
But I was.
Yeah. I was just turning your mic. It's not mansplaining.
I could have done it. I could have done it. You didn't have to help me.
I thought it'd be a nice thing.
It
I
was
want to be a
like,
gentleman.
Seriously.
It's like when you hold the door for a lady. You know,
That's rude too.
is it because it's implying that you're weaker than a
Yes,
man?
it implies that we're inferior by some means.
Okay.
Well, don't try to hold open for old people either, because I was at the YMCA once. I held open the door for an old man. He threatened to go and beat me with his cane after I did it. Not lying.
What?
Yeah, he threatened to beat me up with his cane. I guess that's toxic masculinity. He didn't use enough Gillette. There was obviously, but he was taking
You're a Trump
forever. So he was
supporter.
walking this whole walk and I tried to go and hold the door up and be a nice guy, but apparently,
How dare you?
They say nice guys finish last, so that's what I should have learned from that.
Yeah, how dare you? You should have been shaving down under. If that was the case, with Gillette, then you would have been cool.
Honestly, I always shave. I'm pretty good. I keep myself manscaped pretty well.
Yeah.
I didn't need to know any of that information. Thank you
really?
very much.
Well, I didn't need to know all about Amy Schumer's vroom vroom down there, but she always happens to tell us about it.
Well, you could just turn off the Netflix if you don't like it. Okay, I am in the middle of something live going on here, and he's talking about this, perverted mess. I don't need that in my life. Seriously.
What were you saying before, Zoe? Before I rudely and just inappropriate of me to adjust your mic. Like, what were you were saying something before that?
I lost my train of thought. Thank you.
You got off the Trump train.
Yeah, just
don't assume her gender, you bigot.
that's right.
Yeah. What pronouns do you prefer? I forgot to check that.
Wait, what? I'm offended that you would even ask me that.
Well, what if I didn't? Should I just not use pronouns?
You shouldn't just ask.
She's obviously
You
a
shouldn't
brave
ask. That is horrible. If you don't know, seriously, that's a you problem.
I should just be mind reading.
You should, yeah. Well, I mean, you're better off.
Well, so what?
So what are you saying?
So if a stranger comes up to you, Zoe, and they say, can you do this for me? Blah blah blah, and they use a pronoun then, like she, which is what I would assume to use. Would you be offended?
Yes.
Okay, Zer. Well, is it Zer or Z or?
You know what? I'm sick of it. You know what? I'm sick of this crap. I don't need this. I don't need this crap. I'm leaving. Okay.
Oh.
To heck with all of you guys. I'm going to have another quinoa salad. Have a nice day, losers.
It's hashtag walking away.
Yeah. Hashtag walk away and go to your Prius. It's nice knowing you, Zoe. No, she can't hear us anymore. Oh no, we got somebody coming back. Who's this? Oh, is this? Wow, came back. Well, I think we're gonna go.
Hey, what's up? Yeah. What did I miss?
Oh,
What did I miss?
I'm at a loss for words. I can't even say. I thought I saw you coming in, and I was like, "Is it? I don't know. Tricked me here. Did she convert Phil? I mean, I don't know what I should say or not say."
Okay, so during the break, she like shooed me away. I was like, "Well, do you want me in here too?" And she was like, "Well, what do you think?"
There's too many men in here.
The less men, the better.
Oh yeah, it was a gender gap here.
Okay.
It's scary for a strong, independent woman to go to see that much testosterone.
You know what? I'm like, in these situations, I have to just smile and nod. I'm like, look, do what you got to do, and we'll roll with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to move on to a big topic that I should have started the hour with, and I didn't because we got sidetracked, but that's okay. I love getting sidetracked. Trump has ended the government shutdown. Now, before anybody panics, he has only shut down the government or reopened the government for now, for 3 weeks. If anybody watched his speech, did you guys actually watch his speech? Just so I know for the record.
I had to watch the playback, yeah.
Playback, okay, good.
I didn't.
You didn't, okay.
I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, I understand. But it was important to watch because the media spun it the wrong way. So he temporarily reopened the government for 3 weeks, like I said. Now, the immediate reaction, knee-jerk reaction from the right was, Trump has caved. We're not going to get a wall. This is dumb. What's he doing? And my immediate reaction was surprise, which is, oh, he did this and didn't get the wall funding. Wait a second. And then I quickly saw for 3 weeks. It's only about for 3 weeks. And I went, there's something going on here. And when you think about this some more, it's actually a very smart play. Probably the best play he could do here. So what was the context going into this? We had government workers that were not getting paid for now 2 weeks, I think, maybe 3. That could start becoming a problem, optics-wise. And now his State of the Union was not going to happen thanks to Nancy. Maybe not the biggest deal, but still, that's on the table here. And the Democrats weren't budging, Republicans weren't budging, kind of expectedly. So what did Trump do? He pulled a card out of his sleeve and reopened the government. So now, where they are forced now to have a committee and meetings where they do negotiations on immigration. And he specifically said that the experts will be there. The experts on building a wall, on border security. So this will be Border Patrol engineers, people that know what they're doing. So what is he setting up here? He is setting up a situation where the experts are going to say, this is the type of wall you should build, this is where you should build, this is the other type of wall you should build, this is where you should build it. If the Democrats say no, and they don't make a deal, they are going to be denying the experts. They're going to be ignoring the experts. And then the government will be shut down again. This will look really bad for them. So they either have to make a deal or the government gets shut down again. They have to fund the wall or the government gets shut down again. And this time the blame will be on them because whatever the experts come up with, the right's going to be fine if they're going to say, hey, this is how we secure the border. The experts say we secure the border by doing this. If the Democrats who say they're for border security ignore the experts, that's going to look really bad. And now Trump can make his State of the Union speech. Another gain for him. He can now put it right to their face. He can go directly to the American people because this is one of the most watched things of, yearly is the State of the Union. And he can lay us all down and nail the Democrats. He's forcing the Democrats to negotiate. I saw CNN jumping, oh my God, Trump caved. Nancy Pelosi won. Okay, she won a skirmish. But why are you guys doing premature victory laps when the battle is still going and it will still be going for at least 3 weeks? This isn't over. The game is not over. We're in the 4th inning. It's not over. This is not a victory. Anybody that thinks this is over is an idiot. I'm saying that very bluntly. I'm not trying to be condescending, but if you think this is over, You are an idiot. You are not looking at the bigger picture here. And would you honestly think Trump would give this up? He would not. He knows what he's doing. I'm getting tired of the left, I mean, the left's going to do their thing. They think they got victory to go, oh, look at us. We got Trump. But I'm getting a little tired of the right. Having a little, because we saw this with Syria Strike. People freaked out and everything turned out to be fine. Syria Strike 2, people freaked out, everything turned out to be fine. A spending bill that didn't have wall funding, people freaked out and everything turned out to be fine. People freaked out again. I understand the initial reaction. I understand that. I understand why people reacted. But at this point, I think we can all calm down, take a deep breath, and realize and think logically here that Trump knows what he's doing. That's my 2 cents. And a rant. Do Alex or Dictator Phil have a thing to say?
Oh, yes. So I think that Trump needs to just go and shut down the government, just like reopen. I think that's the obvious solution.
Never reopen it again? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we just go live in campus. Let's go and deal with that.
Yes, I think the libertarians would be wetting themselves.
They're the ones who are really waiting, like, oh, the government's shut down. Oh, no. We want to have people collecting taxes.
Yes.
We won't have the TSA groping us. There'd be some downsides. Maybe people who are working for government, government workers, should probably go and take this time and go and reconsider their position. Because, working off of people's tax dollars, I don't know, maybe they need to go and look somewhere else. Because do we need the TSA to be a government-sponsored thing, or could airlines deal with this themselves?
Well, the airlines don't want to deal with it because it's a legal liability. They don't want to get sued.
Banks have to go and deal with stuff like regulations. They have all sorts of stuff like the Feingold and all this other junk they have to deal with. Yeah, it was one of those the McCain-Feingold Act and Glass-Steagall and whatever else they had to deal with.
Yeah.
But they could go and do the same thing with the TSA because nobody likes the TSA and they don't do a very good job of what they do. Let's be honest here. 95% of TSA, they did a test. 95% of people try to go and smuggle guns in a test row to get it through.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they still grope you. Why?
Okay. I think people are a little ridiculous when they say, "Oh, the TSA shouldn't pat me down," or "Oh, this is my privacy." Are you gonna really worry about them seeing black and white semi-nude pictures of you over a terrorist blowing your plane up?
But they can still do it. They found 95% try to smuggle something in. We're still able to go and do it. If you're gonna go and pat my butt down, at least buy me a drink first.
Well, that's my problem with the TSA. Is I think their procedures, are fine. It's just they don't do it well, and that's why you see failure rates. That's one of the few things in government that I think should be privatized is the TSA. I'm not a whole big fan of privatizing a lot of things. I am a bigger fan, actually, of the government overseeing it by hiring private contractors or hiring private companies to do stuff, because that tends to work better. But the TSA should be privatized, or at least you hire a private contractor or something, because they are a total failure. The TSA is a mess. They don't do a good job, and they're making people more dangerous.
Yeah, everybody has a story. Everybody has a story when they go to an airport. Everyone has a story about how
they did something ridiculous.
The TSA experience, and all of our, I'm sure all of our listeners have a story. Showing up in an airport, they mess up your ticket. They mess up your bags.
I've done a lot of traveling. I've been lucky, but there have been times where I've heard friends that have had weird cases. My one friend of my mother's had a dog, a service dog, because they were blind or deaf or whatever, and they were freaking out over it, and they did something stupid. But here's the other thing. You gotta realize when the TSA is hiring people, what are they hiring? They're asking people to do a very monotonous job for a long time, and not many people want to do that. I don't want to sound these are people that are getting jobs nobody else wants to do. When they say illegal immigrants, but this is actually a legitimate job that most people don't want to do. So they're hiring the lowest denominator. They're hiring very unskilled labor, and you're not.
Is it unskilled? Because trying to go and determine who's a terrorist be a high skill thing. Or
no, it is, but they're not hiring people with good skills like that. They're hiring people that are bad at this. They're very low skilled.
Well, see, why don't we go and train like a computer, like a robot, to go and determine
Yes.
who's a terrorist or not? Because they can probably do it better than a human can. Then you won't get all that bias crap. Like, oh, he's attaining me because I'm this or that or the other thing. You get a robot to go and do it; they ain't biased.
Get
I mean, if
Tate.
they are, it's because that's what they see in real life.
Get
That's what they'll
Tate
do.
to do it.
Make a bot do and automate that crap. Less
No, but
legal
remember-
liability and less people groping you. Well,
Yeah,
you
but
probably
imagine-
still have the same amount of people groping.
Imagine if you had Tay doing it. You know, the Microsoft bot.
Oh God, like the little Clippy.
No, Tay. Remember Tay?
Oh jeez, Tay. Yeah, that's
Now you got it.
that was funny, but no, like they could probably get a robot to go and like determine.
Oh yeah,
like,
they can do that. China's doing that right now. There was a story on 60 Minutes 2 weeks ago where they're creating AI that can, on a security camera, tell if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're gonna do this. Like this is like person of interest, like Minority Report stuff, where they're gonna try and predict crimes now and stop you. Like that's a very cool thing, but a very scary thing at the same time. Because in the wrong hands, it can be very dangerous. But you know, it could be used for good. I think it's a great solution for the TSA is to have robots do it, to have AI do it. And I think that is going to be the future.
I can see a robot like step into the room. Drop your pants.
Cha cha cha.
This will only hurt a lot.
Well, see, like I just saw this YouTuber that I watched. It's called what was it, InRange TV, I think. Yeah, InRange TV. And this guy was like, he had a very bad experience with the American TSA, but then he went to Sweden. They had the same sort of thing. It like flagged him for some reason, and we had to go and get like searched over there. And they were so much nicer in Europe, but the people in America were like jerks.
Well, they tend
Like,
to be
maybe-
nice to me. I've never had a mean TSA person actually.
Well, he got sent to like the special pat down, like where they really were in there. And he had like the ones in Europe were very nice, but then when he went back to his own country, he was like, treated like crap. And I think maybe we just need to go and hire nicer people there.
Yeah. How do you do that though?
I don't know, like fire people who do a bad job. They probably don't do that much with the government jobs.
Are they unionized?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Government employees are the most difficult to get rid of.
Yeah. Other than teachers.
Yeah, no, because I mean, I've worked at.
Well, they are government employees, teachers.
Kind of.
Kind of. Well, teachers are unionized, but there's like like with government employees, like if they're actual GS employees, it takes a good bit to fire somebody.
Oh yeah.
It really does. That's another positive about like maybe privatizing it. Like, oh, you just get rid. You can tell the company, oh, get rid of them, and then they just.
Well, Trump privatized air traffic control towers, which seems to be working well because I haven't heard any problems. I hope if he could do that to the TSA, that'd be pretty awesome. But I heard the reason
They don't
that
even do their job.
well,
They don't do their job very well. Like if 95% of terrorists go and smuggle stuff through, then we need to go and fix this because
Yep.
it's obviously not doing the job for how much trouble people have to go through. But they don't care because the government regulation and everyone else says the free market's not in play at that point.
Oh yeah.
That's why it's a problem.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing I will also mention before we go to break was that on Monday, Martin Luther King Day, Kamala Harris announced that she's running for the Democrat nomination in 2020. She's going to be a candidate. And I said this months before she announced, but she's definitely going to be the nominee. And I have further proof of this because now CNN has basically endorsed her. They've trashed all the other opponents and been nice to her. And now Matt Damon has kind of endorsed her. So you're already seeing people go behind her. She has an awful slogan, I will say that, of "For the People." It's the most unoriginal, dumb slogan you could ever come up with. But sure, game will probably improve as time goes on, as they put more money behind her and they get better people behind her. Because that's kind of what happened to Hillary. She got better later on, but she's a nominee. And the reason I say this is because let's look at the list here. Of the declared ones, we got Tulsi Gabbard, who's way too moderate and way too centristy to rally support from the left because she spoke out against Obama. She has no chance at all. No chance. And CNN's
Well,
already.
she'd be like the moderate voter. Like that'd be the best person for them to go and run, but they're not
No,
going to do it.
no, they can't. She's too much. You know how like John Kasich was like too moderate. Like that's kind of what.
But we need someone on the far. We need someone like relatively hard, right? But I mean, Trump isn't.
Trump isn't right. No, he's a moderate. He's got left wing positions like on trade. You know, and Tulsi Gabbard. While I would actually support her for some things, or some things I don't. Her problem is she's trying to almost, and I'm not saying this is what she is doing, but this is how it comes off, that she's appealing to both sides. When you appeal to both sides, you appeal to nobody. And that's what's happening with her. And CNN's already trashed her, and the left already hates her, which I think is ironic. But because she's a whammon, but they're trashing her.
The left really has this like woke meter down. Like you have to be a certain woke to be. Like you look at they were giving Ricky Gervais a bunch of crap on Twitter.
Yeah. I saw that.
And he's like one of the most leftist people.
But he's pro free speech and anti-PC.
Right. Can't have that.
Can't have that. Yeah, very radical position nowadays. Being a radical free speech extremist. But the other nominees now we also have here are Pocahontas, who had that cringy, inauthentic, hey, I'm cracking a cold one, guys. Oh, look, I have a husband. It's too inauthentic.
Oh, Ross is probably cuckold.
Yeah, you should have seen him. He just like walks into frame. He's like, what the heck is this crap? He didn't even say a word.
Hey,
he's like,
on the bright
I'm
side, look, for Elizabeth Warren, on the bright side, at least she can paint with all the colors of the wind. Okay?
She's a person of color too. She's Native American. 1/1000 millionth Native American. But she has no chance. Absolutely no chance, because she's just bad. She's just flat out bad. Even Democrats are saying that. So who else?
They should get her to run though. That'd be great.
Yeah. No, I hope she's a nominee. For the sake of the Republicans, I hope so much. But it's not going to happen because she's just so bad. Like, she's worse than Hillary.
Hillary run again.
She's basically Hillary 2.0. Yeah, she's basically...
Let's just get Hillary again. Let's just go try to get her to run.
Yeah, give her a third shot. Yeah, what could go wrong? And the other one they have is Kirsten Gillibrand. I don't know if you guys know her much.
The New York one, right?
Yeah. I saw her on 60 Minutes, too. Oh, my gosh, she bad. She is the most extreme.
So we have two candidates from New York running at the same time.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Oh, yeah, it would be, because it's so funny about. Well, she's from New York and she's in a different state now, where she had to like flip flop extremely on position. She used to be like pro wall, anti immigration. Now she's like pro sanctuary cities. She was anti, gun control. Now she's for gun control. She's a total flip flopper, and she just sounds dumb when she, in interviews.
Sounds like Hillary 2.0.
Yeah, she's real bad.
She used to be a Republican, and then she switched because she probably saw more money in the Democrats.
I think I heard, was Hillary, like, kind of...
You're thinking Bernie. They were talking about Bernie today. Bernie's thinking about running. He probably will, but I don't think he has a chance. He already had his time, and that's been robbed, and he betrayed his base by selling out, so he's pretty much done. And he's an old, white guy. That I hate to say it, but the Democratic Party's not looking for that. And if you notice,
we need to go convince like some really radical, like leftists, like the
AOC.
Cortez.
Yeah,
like the Cortez, like get them to go and vote for her, even though she can't be the president. Greatest laugh. They get like, even if she gets like 55%, be like, oh, well, she can't run.
Yeah.
And then Trump just wins by default. That would be the greatest slap in the face. I think we need to convince people to go and do that, because I want another Trump term.
I do too. But I would be absolutely terrified of AOC running in a few years, which I'll talk about as our next topic. But I'm going to talk about a few other nominees first, because it's very interesting what you're seeing here. There's another, let's see, the Kirsten Gillibrand, Pocahontas, Kamala Harris. There's, I think it's Julio Castro. It was something Castro.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we need that.
I know. I was like, he's got the worst last name, so.
Well, no, it's the best for the Democrats. They love Fidel Castro.
That's true. That's true. So here's the thing, though. What is everybody that's running except Castro? A woman. This is what I've been saying. They are the party of women now. They are only going to vote for a colored woman. Kamala Harris checks that big box right there. She's also moderate. She's also likable and fun and kind of poppy. That's their nominee that they're going to push. Now, is she going to be Trump? No way. As long as the GOP isn't complacent and doesn't sit this one out, Trump is winning in a clean victory. But if, Beto O'Rourke, Joe Biden, no chance. Again, it's the demographic problem for them. It's not.
Well, see, we need to go and get like a group of people just go and like research. Like we need to get an autistic army out there, like what we did with Trump. We need to get that same, like we need to get people on the fortune, just go like pay the moderators to just go like research these people
and meme.
See every little like speeding ticket every time they went and did something stupid. Because that's what politics is going to be in the next 20 years. Like just be like looking for every little bit of dirt because everybody has some dirt on them.
Oh yeah.
You can research long enough, you can find something, and that's what's going to be. You got to find like this fake person who's like been homeschooled all their life or like went to some prestigious school that doesn't allow phones, and that's going to be the only people who are going to be able to go and run. Because you saw what happened to Kavanaugh. That's going to be every politician from now on.
Oh yeah.
We get rid of the internet, which unless we have some sort of World War III scenario, that's not going to happen.
See, now what's crazy is think about this. Kavanaugh was around in a time before internet. Imagine when our generation starts running for office where we've grown up with the internet. Can you imagine the stuff they're going to pull out then?
Oh, yeah. We're not going to be able to have any like politicians. Like they're just going to be like, we're going to get like some with like 1% of the vote at that point. And that'll be the victor because no one's going to like them because there's so much stuff you can dig up.
Well,
It'll just be pure party lines at that point.
You know what we might be able to do is news came out today that Howard Schultz, the former CEO of Starbucks, is playing with the idea of an independent run this in 2020. And that's what I'm saying. We could just like meme him into like, oh yeah, this is your best shot, guys. Howard Schultz. Let's get him in, guys. You made your coffee. You like your coffee, right? You gotta like this president, and he's gonna split the vote. And
why don't we get Mark Zuckerberg to run for independent?
Oh my god, nah, he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, the Starbucks CEO. We're gonna jack up everything just like your caramel macchiato.
You get free Starbucks for life if you vote for me.
Yo, yeah.
That's pretty much what it is right now. Because like, look at how much money it is for like. That's my problem with everyone being able to go and like vote with no sort of requirements. Like that's what's becoming. It's like hey, you like that government welfare that you got here? A Democrat, we'll ensure that you have that for the rest of your life, and we'll increase the benefits. It's like what happened in Rome. They had the like free like bread loaf.
Yeah.
And I'll give you 2 loaves of bread. I'll give you 3, and then they became bankrupt, and they just ended democracy at that point. They say that Trump saying democracy is actually the Democrats who are doing that. We saw what happened in Rome. We'll see what happens in America. It's not be much different.
It's so funny because I was actually reading about the fall of Rome for a class, and they conveniently left that out.
That was a truth. That was a true thing. You can look it up. That was part of it. Another part was like Genghis Khan being, the Chad Almighty, and making them pay like, I think they had to pay like 100 tons of gold a day or some like ridiculous fee just like not invade them, and they became bankrupt because of that. Plus the bread.
Well, and also what I was reading was that Rome, like the politicians were being very seclusive, so they didn't have a unified like fighting force around their empire, so people would just start invading it and they could get away with it. Like, I hate to say this, but and it was also about like with the roads. It's gonna get so ANCAPy, but the roads weren't being maintained by the government, so that was like hurting stuff. And I'm like, this is why we need government for some things, guys.
Well, there's a difference. There's a fall of the road. Like the Roman Republic ended, then they had the emperors, and the emperors ended because they had these. What was it? I think the Goths were invading, or the Vandals. That's what they call them, Vandals.
No, they said the Germanics were invading.
Well, yeah, they had all sorts of people invading, and they the wars that they had weren't Roman citizens, and that's what caused the problem. And that was one of the reasons. But the reason the Republic ended, which was before the emperors, was because they kept paying people more and more to go and vote for them. They were like, "Oh, we'll give you 2 loaves of bread. We'll give you 3. We'll give you 5. We'll give you 10. We'll give you food for life." And it just became unsustainable. They were just, and that's what basically the welfare state is today.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the entitlements today are ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
Ridiculous.
Especially for government employees. Like they get like a pension, they get all this. And I mean,
Yep.
they did their time, but still, we need to go and get that money from somewhere. And like pensions, you're probably better off, like instead of having Social Security, you're better off just putting inside a private IRA. You can make like 8% return on investment in there. If I had the choice, I'd do that, but you can't.
Yeah. There's no perfect system, unfortunately, but I think we have the best as possible in our, type of country we live in. But at the same time, like I said, I think Kamala's going to pull it off. Howard Schultz, I don't know if he's going to really step in the game. I think he's smarter if he would just be like a lobbyist or some sort of like donor. He would have way more influence that way, and I think that's what he wants to really do. I don't know why he's flirting with this. I don't know. Maybe he's not, and he's just trying to get his name out there for whatever reason. But it's interesting. But one thing I think people need to realize, and this is why I'm so confident that Kamala is going to be the nominee, is I think people don't realize how little control they have in deciding elections. Because in a normal election, let's take Trump out of it because he's a totally different, animal here. In a normal election, the rich people pick the candidate, and then the media brainwashes people to like this candidate for the most part. Because look, Kamala Harris, Mitt Romney, John McCain, none of us like those people at all, but they became nominees because at the time they seemed like good choices, or at least with Mitt Romney, let's say. But Mitt Romney turned out to be a total scumbag and backstabbed Trump and is a spineless, conservative. So, what they, and in normal politics, you need a lot of money to run. You can't just go, I want to run because I want to change things.
Had money.
What?
Romney had a lot of money. He had like some huge investment corporation.
Oh yeah.
But that's all he had. He had no soul. That was his problem.
Yeah, but he also had the party backing him with a lot of money. And that's why I tell people, like, when you want to get involved with politics, you have to play the game. And this is what people that have been involved tell you, that you have to play the game to get money. And, like, unless you're like a Cortez that can actually get a lot of grassroots efforts. But even she had to do a lot of activism work before that to get connections, to get some money, and to get to know people. It's not something you can just get up and do. Only people like Trump is a rare case where he could do that because he had name recognition and he had a lot of money and he could do whatever he wanted pretty much. But if you're just going to be a normal politician, you have to play the game to get people to like you, to get the donors to like you, so when presidential time comes around, they can fully fund your campaign, you can outspend all the others, and you will get the nomination. Because many of these people are not very persuasive and they're not very good at it. But,
there's a fine line to that, too. You have to be, like, with look at the last election. With Trump, when Trump ran, yes, he had money, but he was incredibly efficient with it too.
Oh yeah,
and
true.
Like normally in politics, you have to, like, when you
need a
take
lot of money.
Yeah, but even when you raise money, and I put air quotes on that too.
Yeah.
When you raise money, there's a lot of strings that go to it.
Exactly.
Like, there's all kinds of deal. Like, they generally comes with backdoor deals and stuff like that, where it really it affects your flexibility of what you want to do in a particular campaign, where Trump was like,
I want to do what I want, is what he said. I want to be a real president. And that's what I'm saying when I say the rich basically kind of control this a lot. And then the media brainwashes everybody to like these certain candidates. You're seeing it right now with CNN. Tune into CNN when they're talking about 2020. They are programming, their viewers to like Kamala. It's like, because Scott Adams was talking about this kind of like how I am, and I just realized just how simple it is, and yet people don't seem to realize it. Like, Trump woke a lot of people up to this, but it's blatant now how bad it is.
Here's my thing, right? I think I know we were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Beto O'Rourke. Now, grant you, white guy, right?
Straight white.
But yeah, that too. But he's one of those guys that's like, okay, so there's a couple of things that I look at, and there's some parallels with another candidate in the last election. He's extremely well spoken, speaks very well. He's liked by the younger crowd. Liked by the he got, like, in his district, I think he got 90% of the African American vote.
Yeah,
like, that is like very like and he knows how to raise money. He knows how to independently raise money, which, like, you look at you look at Bernie Sanders. He was another guy that kind of, now, of course, the well-spoken thing, that's kind of,
yeah, he's not actually that good of a public speaker.
We need to go after the top 1%. Like, no, I mean, it's, but I'm saying for him, liked by the ethnic vote, right? Was able to raise money untraditionally. Like, this is the kind of stuff that's going to, not only it's going to work, or at the very least, it's going to throw a wrench in the system. Like, Bernie Sanders didn't win, but I feel like his movement won Trump the election. Like, it definitely helped win Trump the election, because he was this outsider, and this outsider was taking it to Hillary Clinton, and then Hillary Clinton
DNC
had to
rigged
do
against
some,
Bernie.
Yeah, had to
Was
do
Bernie
some.
Sanders really an outsider? Like, how long has he been a politician?
He
really
played
isn't.
the outsider.
Yes.
He played the outsider.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's no way he was going. I mean, is he establishment? Yeah, but was he going to be more establishment than Hillary Clinton? Not in your life. And he could play that. But the problem is, because Hillary Clinton won and Bernie played the anti-establishment, essentially, those votes went to Trump. Like, those Bernie Sanders votes,
some of them,
enough of them went to Trump to knock Hillary out in the election.
I want to talk about AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because she did something interesting. There was a Twitch stream going on, and she called into that Twitch stream and started chatting. She talked about how she loved the Nintendo 64 and was citing a bunch of games her friend had on it, and then she started to talk about politics a bit. And I want to say this on the record now, because I haven't, I think on this show, said it. I am terrified of her as a right-winger, of her running, because she is a female Trump in the making. Now, I know what you're thinking. No way, she's dumb. She's nowhere near as good as Trump. She's not as good as Trump by quite a bit right now, but she has the skills, and she has adopted some of his techniques. Now, I'll tell you when I thought of this first. Right when she won her election in New York, she said online, when they were asking her about abolish ICE, which was her big thing that helped her and gained her attention, she said, well, maybe not really abolish ICE. This is just a big first offer. And my antennas went right up, because that is straight out of the art of the deal. That is straight out of the Trump playbook of making a big first off. Excuse me. It's my burger making me react. A big first off. What was that?
Is it the burger or the milk?
I said your Asperger.
Oh, Asperger's. I don't have Asperger's. So the big first offer, you set that out on the table. After negotiations, you get exactly what you want, which is probably for her like reform of ICE. That is when I first went, oh boy, this girl's got some game here. But, I'll wait and see. And then I saw her social media. Have you seen her Instagram? If you haven't yet, you are doing yourself a disservice in terms of strategy, because this girl is savvy and smart with it. She was doing Instagram videos, cooking macaroni and cheese in her apartment and talking to people. That is relatable to people that are struggling. People that are living in apartments that are just eating TV dinners and trying to make by is exactly what she's doing. She's just a girl from the Bronx trying to get by and whatever. You know, the details and the facts aside, this is the image that's coming off, and it comes off as authentic. And you see her, like when that dance video came out and she was, you know, she did act a little ridiculous when she said, oh, Republicans are so angry about this. When only like one incel was angry about it. The point was, her comeback to it was just like her doing a little sort of cute little dance like outside of her office. And I'm like, this is gold. She's memeing herself into higher office. She gets this game. Now, this is creating her a lot of attention. She's been on 60 Minutes. She's been on MSNBC. She's been on all these programs. And she is the youngest person to serve in Congress. She is a female Latina. And she is kicking the establishment's butt right now, and they don't like it. Nancy Pelosi's gunning up behind her, behind the scenes, trying to take her down. This is where it gets interesting. She, I think, is not stupid at all. She plays dumb in the interviews like this. Oh, we're just gonna help people, and it's gonna be nice. You know, she has this kind of like doughy, softy like image she puts in, you know, in front of TV. But I think, first of all, I think she genuinely believes what she believes. But I think behind the scenes, she is a Machiavellian, you know, nasty, probably backstabbing, tough, aggressive person. We're already seeing her aggression. She stole tips from all the people at her bar or restaurant she worked at. Like, this is a girl that's cunning and aggressive. So do not underestimate her conservatives. Because I keep seeing on Facebook and Twitter conservatives going, oh my God, AOC so dumb. I'm like, guys, you are the ones being dumb here. Well, you are not recognizing this potential.
Well, she's done some stupid things before, but she's very much a political creature. She's like the Hillary Clinton if Hillary Clinton actually had a chance. She's trying to go and be like Trump. She knows what success looks like, and she's going to try to emulate it. But she's completely ungenuine. If you break down into it, I think if Trump ran against her, it would be no contest. But if we had someone like, you know, Mitt Romney, some like conservative like John Kasich or something run against her, then yeah, I think that they might lose, because she at least appears to them to be in touch. She appears to be, you know, this is what a regular person does.
Well, she did screw up recently. In 60 Minutes, she was doing... I keep mentioning 60 Minutes. But there was an interview where she did recently, but she was calling Trump a racist and doing all this stuff. And I said, you know what? That's going too far, because now... At first, she was above the identity politics, you know, but now she's in it. And I'm like, that's a mistake. She's making mistakes, and it's because she's young. She's a rookie. She's going to learn, though. And that's why I'm saying I'm scared of her, because socialism is seductive, because it's free stuff, it makes you feel good, and it taps into your selfishness to be safe, to be prosperous, to get free stuff. It's something I don't know how you can beat.
It's possible. But, well, a couple things. Couple things. One, okay. You can be really savvy. You can be really personally savvy, like with, you know, social media and the media,
which is going to matter more,
you know, but be really dumb on policy. And that's and I believe you really do have to have something. You really do have to have a blend of the two to really catch like the majority. Like you're gonna have a base. You're gonna have a base. Like everybody's gonna have a base, but to capture the
moderates,
the majority, like even the majority for president, you're really gonna have to. You need some straight, clear-ish policy. You know, at least when Trump did his little tour, he had his promises. He had his, you know, the winning, the wall, the trade deals, he had all of this stuff that he was saying that he was going to do. And it's kind of, it's not, the policy stuff is not as clear with AOC, which, you know, maybe she, like later on down the road, maybe it develops, maybe it gets better within time.
Well, here's the thing that's interesting when you say that. they've charted the alignment of both parties for like the past like 30 years. On this one thing that Tim Pool was showing, the right has stayed relatively moderate. Mm-hmm. The left, it keeps going further left. And that's why I'm scared of her, is because I'm afraid the left is going to keep going further left. I don't think they're going to moderate for any time soon. And in 10, 20 years, when she's old enough and more experienced, she can definitely tap into that. But, well, if the left comes back forward and more to the middle, she will too. Which is also why I'm scared. Because she's smart to know that. She can connect with people and get attention. Do not underestimate this girl, is all I'm saying.
She's also poor too. And I said, look, you remember when she said, when she said,
people, Phil?
Look, she said that she had trouble finding an apartment. She had trouble, like paying bills, stuff like that.
And people were mocking her. And I'm like, conservatives, you're being dumb.
Now we have seen a history of very progressive politicians that came into the system. And Washington D.C., it will swallow you whole if you let it. Like if you're a young politician, and there's a lot of politicians, they come in there and they have good intentions and they want to make a change and they legitimately want things, and they go to Washington, they get their butt kissed, they start getting treated and wined and dined and lobbied and all that, and it changes them. You start seeing that moral fiber start to break down, and that's going to be her biggest challenge. If she can curb that, maybe she'll be okay. But I've seen several in the course of my life. I've seen several progressive, popular, good-looking. I've seen several politicians that have fit that particular mold that have been gobbled up by DC.
Well, I think her biggest issue is actually Nancy Pelosi and the establishment just primarying her, because she doesn't have the money and the DNC has all the money. If AOC doesn't have dirt on Nancy and doesn't have things to keep them in her line, they are just going to they're going to take care of her. They're going to primary her out because they have the money, the media, and the control.
The people with the money can play the long game. The long game is terrifying. I can play you. I can play to your weaknesses, and then I can wait you out. Like it's like a settlement.
I don't think they're going to try to get rid of her.
Huh?
No, I think she's got a lot enough time. They're going to corrupt her.
Right. That's what that I agree with you on that one. But it's like a lawsuit, right? Like if you're suing a big company, right? The big company has the money. So then they like if you don't have the kind of money to be able to fight legally, they can play the long game and go, oh, we're going to make this dude crack until we can lowball him with a settlement offer. When in reality, you probably get much more. But if you don't, it's about positioning. And with Pelosi being establishment, being that entrenched with DC and then having the money, she can play such an advantage over somebody like AOC, where she can maneuver, box her out. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. She's social. AOC, she brings something fresh, and take that how you want, but that kind of freshness, it can be derailed. It can be with and Nancy Pelosi, she's no idiot. She is very intelligent. Like respect your enemies, respect what they're capable of. Nancy Pelosi is capable of quite a bit at this juncture. So, but that's a question. That's the question. Like that, and that's a question with any popular face that comes in, and and like Obama, another guy, right? Another politician who's young, connected with the people, was and he could raise money independently.
Yeah.
but he knew, like he taught conservative law at Columbia, or constitutional law at Columbia. So he was able, like he had a good grasp. AOC doesn't really have that grasp. So not in that of a Barack Obama. So she's got her work cut out for her.
Well, see, I think that the left has two options. Either they're gonna go and try to go and destroy her, or they're gonna try to go and make her their apprentice. And I think the cat's out. What's gonna happen, like from this point. But I think if they were smart, they go and try to go and turn into some sort of apprentice.
Yeah.
And keep her there because they know that it's gonna be she'd be a decent politician, or pretty dang good. They keep her on the straight and narrow. Don't do anything really stupid for the next 10 years. But she's going to lose a little bit of her essence in the fact that she's not a career politician, because by then she will be. But, and by then they might have someone else who would be like a AOC Mark II. But if they're smart, they just go and keep her for,
They might try to do that, and I think it might fail. I think that's what's going to happen, because she's probably right now trying to find all the dirty secrets on Nancy Pelosi, all the dirty secrets on all these top people to have some dirt on them to fight back, because she's smart, Machiavellian, cunning, and she's got to learn how to play the game. And I think she's going to learn real quick. But I'm very this is something the left, I know, doesn't do as much as the right, or at all. The right always can correct their own or criticize their own, and they're willing to punch right when it's necessary. And I'm punching very hard right here on this, because I'm really getting tired of conservatives just saying how dumb she is, because that is not an effective strategy at all. Haven't you learned from 2016? The Democrats
called an effective strategy against her.
The only effective one that I can come up with right now is to ignore her. That's the only thing, and that's not even that effective, because when you call somebody dumb, that doesn't mean anything, because either people think all politicians are dumb, or when you tell the other side that likes this person so much they're dumb, they don't care. The left said Trump was dumb for the longest time. They're still doing it. Do we care? No, because we think he's smart.
What about this? What if we get our own version? What if we get someone else who's like straight out of college, doesn't have crazy dirt, basically be the right-wing version of this, a conservative person from college who doesn't have dirt.
That's what you need to do, too.
Okay, so the problem... And again, you're talking about money and establishment. So with money, it's all about creating. Like with politicians, it's like if you're going to try to remove somebody, it's all about destroying an image, finding dirt, all that. Like again, with money, you can hire the right people to find dirt, present the image, and smear her in the best possible way, in the best possible time to be able to do it in. Whereas, like AOC, you're really kind of handicapped going against the establishment.
That's ableist. I said that's ableist.
Well, see, what they ought to go and have happen, I think they need to get people on the internet just going to start compiling information on her, but don't have any major media like Fox News report on it. Just keep it in there so that when she does come out, it's going to release all the dogs of war at once.
Yes.
Don't just go and say up these little small things right now and just throw them out, because that's going to make you look petty. But once she goes and runs, release it. Keep tracking it, but don't throw it all out until it's time.
Yeah.
Keep some ammo in the chamber.
Yeah. I think you definitely need to do that, and you need to think of some sort of nickname to give her, because Trump's good at that, where he brands his opponents like Crooked Hillary, Little Marco, Lying Ted. Those things stick. Now, I don't know what you can use against her to stick with her. If you just call her, like AOC is right now a cool nickname for her. Nobody's got that. Her name was kind of a mouthful, and now it's AOC. Boom. That's good for her.
If we can get enough dirt on her, maybe she can be Crooked Cortez at some point.
Well, you need a different term than crooked, but yeah, I get where you're going, which is
Crazy
good.
Cortez, Communist Cortez, that'd probably go pretty good.
Yeah, that might. It's hard because, like I said, there's And this is why I'm yelling at conservatives right now. It's just, and I'm gonna say, I said it like 3 times already, but calling her dumb is not effective.
Well, don't do it right now. Just keep it in the chamber. Keep it in the magazine.
Yeah, because right now you're just giving her so much attention.
Like, you throw it out all at once, she's gonna have, practice defending herself against it. Just keep on the bottom. Don't pay attention to her, but keep recording all this. Have your people keep that down, and then when it comes time, when she does something, a power move, whether it be running for president or running for something else, then release it.
Yeah. Well, did you see she said recently, this was dumb. She was talking about, I think, something, and she said, we're going to run train on them.
Yeah, see, that's the stuff that you can go and use to your advantage. And then it was her and the other politician from Dearborn, Michigan. The one who said Trump's blanking racist or something, and she was like, oh yeah, you gotta get him for stuff like that, just to go and kind of just use that to your advantage in the small game. It's not going to make big changes of minds, but it'll help with the minds who don't really care one way or the other. That's important stuff. But her dancing, no one cares.
Yeah, it's just a meme that makes her better. Keep your
metal detectors out for the important things, and don't let the little things like her dancing, because she has a ton of stuff. She's a communist.
Yeah.
Start tracking dirt. I mean, you're going to have a larger anti-communist movement in this country. Work on that.
Well, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with more real news.